free yoga, guided meditation, playing some Pilates directly to you from the beautiful shores of Maui. We're here at Sugar Beach and we have Federal Way in the house. Say hello, say hello. Go ahead and, go ahead and say hello. So awesome to have them here joining with us today. And don't worry, it's not going to be a grueling playing some Pilates flow. We're just going to relax, stretch out the core, and maybe create a little bit of heat. So if you are ready, let's go ahead and get started. So we're just going to come onto our mats and lay down on our back. We're going to get deeply connected to the abdominals first. So just bring your feet flat to start and tuck your tailbone under and see if you can press the small of your lower back down into the ground. So you're just going to tuck your tailbone under slightly and lengthen up through the crown of your head. So get comfortable, move your hips down away, and then pull up and lengthen the back of your neck. So just elongate the back of your neck and press as much of your spine down into the ground as you can. Now pull your navel deep down into the ground. So you want to create that strong abdominal lock first and really connect to your core. So now just start to close your eyes and deepen your awareness into your breathing. Take long, deep inhales and exhales with a strong abdominal core. So pulling the pelvic wall up and the navel in, lock down tight. Deep breath, really feeling your abdominals first and connecting there before moving on. That way we can get the optimal and maximum benefit from the Pilates workout. And learning how to engage certain muscle groups while relaxing others. So keep your chest and heart center and neck, especially your neck, relaxed as much as possible. Yet your abdominals are locked out strong. Continue to breathe deep and free, pulling your navel down. And now just lifting your feet, bring your knees above the hips, and you're just going to take your hands and press your palms into your knees. So arms are straight, shoulders are locked down your back, and you're going to press your knee into your hand and press your hand into the knee at the same time. So you're using the natural traction of the body, and also lower your back and flatten your lower back as much as you can down into the ground. So really tuck your tailbone under. Continue to press your knees into your hands as much as you possibly can. And press your knees away at the same time. Arms are locked out, engaged and strong, pointing your toes. And seeing how much of your lower back you can flatten down into the mat. Now that you've got that connection, that strong core, and you're really firing it up, it looks as if we're just laying here doing nothing, but we are creating that heat within ourselves that will burn up the rubbish and ignite that fire. And we use that fire and the air, our breath, to balance the water. So basic elements here. And now straightening out the legs, toes go straight to the sky. Now push through the toes, so you're lifting up through the toes, same time anchoring your hips down. Now just bring your arms along towards your sides, flattening the hands down towards the ground. We're just going to continue to pull the belly down here for a moment, coming into the 30, 60, 90. So deep breath, inhale. And as you exhale, just lower your legs just a little bit and see if you can continue to flatten your lower back down into the ground. Another deep breath, inhale. And exhale, lower your legs just a little bit more. Just doing whatever you can. Now, if it hurts your lower back to do this, you can lift your legs back up. That's perfectly fine. You just want to keep your lower back flat to the ground, as flat as you can. Really engaging the core now. Now this is the last part. If this is as low as you go, that's perfectly fine. You can stay here, but see if you can bring your legs down a little bit lower. Continue to press through the toes. Good. Now widen the feet apart, and we're just going to scissor right foot on top, left foot on top. Continue going back and forth. Stretching, pressing past the toes so you can engage every muscle in your legs as well as your abdominals. Now your legs don't move unless your abdominals allow them to. So really have your core be the ones that make these moves happen. Now stop bringing the feet together, and we're just going to lift up the arms here, and we're just going to pump the arms. So lifting your shoulders up and being careful on your neck. You're really lifting from the core, lengthening through the crown of your head, and pressing through the toes. So we're just pumping the arms here. Arms are straight, reaching past the fingertips, firing up the core. Just a few more pumps here. We're almost through it, almost done. And release, hugging the knees into the chest and just looking left and right. So relaxing your neck here. And now lengthening out your legs, arms above the head, and just stretch out the abdominals. So we fire it up, create that heat, and then we counter it with relaxation. So you're going from all that is to all that isn't, allowing the muscles to absorb your practice and all of your hard work. And I have found, tried and true, that when you take that break in between the sets and allow your muscles to absorb, it amps it up and really takes you to that next level. All right, now bringing the knees back in towards the chest. Really anchor your core down into the ground. Arms along the sides, and we're just going to straighten the legs again. Now slowly lower the legs down, just as far as it's comfortable for you, and then pull the knees in. Straighten the legs up to the sky, lower them down, and then pull the knees in. So we're just going to move through this sequence. Pull the legs down and knees in. So going at your own pace here. And you're having your abdominals create these movements. So you're using your core to pull the knees in, and you're using your core to straighten your legs to the sky. Lowering it down, pulling it in, and we're just going to do a few more rounds here before moving on. Lowering it down and pulling it in. Last one here. Lowering it down and pulling it in. Hug your knees in, look side to side, and come back into tabletop, pressing the hands into the knees. And we're just going to allow the knees to fall over towards the right. So adjusting yourself to where you have one hip on top of the other, and then adjusting your shoulders so that you're in a twist. You want to get as much of your side obliques into this as you possibly can. So send your left hip down and see if you can flatten your shoulder blades up towards the sky. Fingertips by the ears, and we're just going to come into our crunches, lifting up and down. Now this is mindful movements. So really see if you can connect and feel the side obliques. And again, you're going at your own pace. Coming into your twist, stacking one hip on top of the other, and you're pressing your left hip down and away from yourself as you lengthen through the crown of your head. So there's not any pushing, forcing, or straining or pulling on the neck. It's your side obliques that are causing you to lift your torso and also lower your torso back down. Mindfully breathing as you lift and lower. Continuing to pull the pelvic wall up and the navel in towards your spine. And scissor your legs. So you want to squeeze your legs together. So squeezing the knees as you lift to get as much of the side obliques, especially the ones that wrap around down into the pelvic bone. So anchor the right hip down as you press and lengthen your left hip away from you, if that makes sense. Just a few more on this side. And you're breathing through it, whether it's an in-breath or the out-breath, as long as you are mindfully focused on your breathing. That is yoga. Focusing all of your attention in one direction. You have your entire body, your entire being working together as one integrated unit, focusing on your core power here. All right, now slowly start to switch sides, coming back to center. Realign your spine, reset for just a moment. Lengthen, really press down through your hips and lengthen up through the back of your neck. Then start to turn over towards the other side. So we're setting ourselves up for success here to get the most benefit out of the side obliques. Squeezing the knees together and just starting to lift and lower, elongating the back of your neck and relaxing the muscles around your neck as well, using your core muscles to lift your body as opposed to the neck muscles lifting the body. Remember, stacking one hip on top of the other, really getting deep into the sides. And just mindfully breathing, going at your own pace. You can go as fast or as slow as you like. The slower you go, the more mindful you become. But if you like to go fast, that's perfectly fine as well. You're doing whatever you need to do to get the maximum benefit out of the practice that fits you. Now, when you lower down, think about lengthening. And when you lift up, you're crunching. So it's a crunch and a lengthen. It's a flex and release. And the entire time, you have your pelvic wall pulled up and the navel pulled in towards your spine. Continue to press the right hip down away from you to get as much length as you possibly can. Anchor your left hip down into the ground and squeeze your knees together. Creating more heat and more fire within the belly. And use your breath, your focused breath, to burn up the rubbish, reset the body, rebalance, and move the water along. Just a few more rounds on this side. We're almost there. And release. Coming back to center now. Hug your knees into your chest. Reset your spine. And then send your legs long, arms above the head, and just relax for a moment. Going from 100% effort to 100% relaxation. So just allowing your abdominals to stretch out, release. And relax. Take long, deep, rejuvenating breaths here. Long inhales, inviting more energy into the body. And see if you can elongate your exhales even more as you let go of what your body no longer needs. You're exhaling it out. And it has nowhere to go but up and out of you. Good. Getting ready for the next set. So we're just going to bring your knees up into tabletop position. Fingertips come up by the ears. So we're just lifting the shoulders up. And see if you can get as much of your shoulder blades up off the mat as you possibly can. So take your time to get set up. Tailbone is tucked under. Core is locked out strong. And we're just going to stretch out the right leg. And switch. So So we're bringing in the knees. These are just basic knee ins, and we're using our core to pull the knee in and press the leg away. So you're using your abdominals to make this happen. Mindfully breathing through these movements, pressing through the toes, and see if you can press your lower back down into the mat. Now, if you need to lower your shoulders down and take a rest and keep the legs moving, feel free to do so. Remember, you are tuning this practice into you. Your body will tell you when to push and when to pull back. So just respecting that, listening to your body and your own body's particular needs, because we're all at different chapters, different body types, different strengths. So you're doing whatever it is that you need to do to get the maximum benefit out of the practice. Now stop when your right knee is in, and we're just going to try to bring the elbow up to that knee if you can. Good. And holding it here, and we're just going to pulse the left leg up and down. Just pulse it here. Mindfully breathing. Good. And now switch sides. So really lengthening through the right leg and just pulsing it up and down. And release. Lengthen the legs long, arms above the head, looking side to side. Pull the belly in towards your spine and just relax for a moment. Deep breathing here. And now we're going to take a quick break and flip over into our planks. So just bringing the knees in. You're just going to grab the back of the knees and just rock and roll up as many times as it takes to get up. Yes. Just cross the feet, walk the feet back into high push-up position. Now you can come onto your knees if you need to. You just want to make sure that your wrists are stacked under your shoulders, and then squeeze your elbows in towards each other as if you were squeezing a beach ball in between your elbows. That's a deep rotation in the shoulder joints. Down your back, away from each other. Now press it back through your heels and forward through the crown of your head. Tailbone is tucked under and core is engaged. Now lifting the right toe up. 3-point plank here. And you're just going to draw tiny little circles clockwise direction with your toe. Really lengthening, pressing past the toe here. And then tiny little circles counterclockwise. And switch sides. The right toes come down, press back through the heel, lifting the left leg up, stretch past the toes, and draw tiny little circles on this side. Now keep lifting through the crown of your head as you press back through the heel, and tiny little circles the opposite way, counterclockwise. And then bringing yourself into child's pose. Just release it down. Hips back to heels, arms long, head down. And relax the muscles within the shoulder area. And now come back up and forward. We're going to come into elephant plank here. So bring your left forearm down to the mat so that it's parallel with the top of the mat. Now really starfish your hands. We're going to press the hips up, so lifting the knees up off the mat here. Good. Coming into side plank. So rolling onto the sides of the feet as you inhale the right arm up. Good. Working on the side oblique, so think about lifting your hips to the sky, and you're pressing down through your heels and breathing into your upper arm, past the fingertips, as if you were reaching for that helping hand above you. Now open up your shoulder, chest to the sky, so you're reaching behind you now. Really lift your hips up. Good, good. And switch sides. Right hand comes all the way back, setting the forearm down on the mat, and then coming down onto the other sides of your feet as you inhale, the left arm up to the sky. So really lengthen. Press down through your heels, up through the crown of your head, and reach up. So send your breath up here to these fingertips to alleviate that pressure. That way you don't sink down to your joints. You're lifting up and out of them. And slowly send the arm back behind you, opening up the chest to the sky, firing up the core, and release. Slowly come back to center. Lay your body all the way down, forehead to your hands, and just relax. So take your breath here. Lengthen your inhales and exhales. Now staying in this position, we're just going to lift the legs up. Point back through the toes, anchoring the hips down. And you're pressing down through your forearms, pressing down through your elbows, and lengthening from your lower back all the way up through the crown of your head. Now separating the feet wide, we're just going to scissor. Right foot on top, left foot on top. And breathing through it, creating a strong lower back to match the abdominals. Working on the back side. Strengthening your corset that wraps it around. Your spine is your lifeline. You're just pulsing it here, opening and closing. Just a few more. And release it down. Just relax now. Now slowly making your way back onto our backs. Press back over your knees. Sitting down, lengthening the legs, and just laying back down. So bring the knees back into your tabletop position. Lengthening the legs out nice and long. Reconnecting to your core, so pull the belly down as far as you can. Connect to your abdominals first. Flatten your lower back. Reach up past the toes. Arms long above your head now. And we're just going to scissor the legs. So lowering the right leg down, left leg nice and high, and switch. So keep that length all the way past your toes and past your fingertips. And we're just resting the shoulders down on the mat. If you like more, you can lift your shoulders up off of it. Remember, doing whatever you need to do to maximize this practice to fit you. And now lower the arms. Hover them right above the mat here. Lifting the shoulders up now. Focusing your sights. Locking your eyes one spot. And breathing through it. Keeping your breath as mindful as you possibly can. We're almost there. And release. Knees into your chest. Look side to side. Lengthen your legs out long. Arms above the head. And just relax the navel in towards your spine. Relax every muscle. And focus your breath. Long inhales. Long exhales. And take this moment to relax. Regain your breath. Regain your energy. Good. And now slowly start to come up. Now we're going to come up into boat Navasana. So just gripping the fingertips back of the knees. And we're just going to rock and roll into sitting up right here. Now your boat doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Just come into a comfortable place on your mat where you can just balance here on your hips for just a little bit. So you're just gripping the backs of your knees. Shins are in tabletop position. Now, if this is as far as you go, this is perfectly fine. You can continue to hold on to the backs of your knees if you need to. But if you can, bringing your hands into prayer. And we're just going to come into the Russian twist. So we're going to tap right elbow down and then the left. So we're moving side to side. And now we're going to add on, lengthening the opposite leg as we twist. So really pressing through the toes as you wrap, strengthening that corset, going round and round. And just a few more here. We're almost there. Now stop when you're at your right side. Elbow is locked into the ground. And we're just going to pulse the left leg here. Up and down. Good. And switch sides. Left elbow down, lock into place. And just pulse the right leg. Good. And release. Arms long overhead. Good. Just relax it out. Pulling the navel in. Good. So that was the pinnacle, that was the peak, and now we're just going to wind it down from there. The hardest part is over. And now it's just time to stretch and relax. You did it. That was a series about 500 sit-ups, 500 crunches. So you made it through. And now separate your feet nice and wide. Anchor your legs, and we're just going to come into a sit-up. Arms above the head, deep breath, inhale, filling your lungs as much as you can. And exhale, really anchor your legs down, coming into your sit-up, and we're just going to reach past the right foot. So just reaching past here and relaxing the body. Bringing your arm to the outside of the right leg and just setting your forearm down as you inhale, side sweep. Left arm comes up. Reaching past the fingertips. Opening up your shoulder to the sky. Now see if you can anchor your left hip down to the ground. That way both hips are nice and even. And now just fold over your right leg. Continue to press the left hip down and back just to even out the stretch all throughout your leg. So we're allowing the muscles to just fall where they may. Allowing whatever muscles to just relax and melt down. Letting your breath do all the work from here on out. So you're just breathing into that circulation throughout the legs. And slowly start to roll up, laying all the way back down, arms above the head, pointing the toes, pulling the navel in. Deep inhale here, we're going to come into the other side. Fill your lungs as much as you can. And exhale, anchor the legs, and use your core to pull yourself up and over to the left side. Left forearm stays to the outside of the leg as you inhale. Right arm comes up and over. Opening up to the side. Now really anchor the right hip down and away from you. That way you get as much length from the right hip all the way past the fingertips. Opening and stretching up. Getting into the fascia of your rib cage and breathing there. Now slowly start to just fold all the way over onto the left leg. Allowing the muscles to just fall where they may and melt down into the ground. sending your deep, focused breath, improving the circulation by circulating your breath all throughout the backside of your leg, relaxing your upper back, your neck, and slowly start to roll up and back down to the ground. Arms above the head, lengthen it out. Pulling the navel in. And one more sit up. Anchor the legs nice and strong. Take a big breath. Deep inhale. And exhale, sitting up. Arms high above the head. And exhale, just folding forward. Now you don't have to fold too far forward to get that stretch. So if you're up here on your hands, that's perfectly fine. Now here we're just going to have a passive stretch at first. So just round your back and let your body relax. Allow the muscles to just fall away from each other. Relax the back of your neck. And see if you can relax your legs as well. Now activate your core, pull the pelvic wall up and the navel in, and we're just going to come up onto our hands and straighten out any roundness in our lower back. So it's a hinging of the hips, pressing down into the ground and activating your legs. Here we're going to point the toes, pressing past the toes and pressing the legs down into the ground. And now flexing the feet, bending the elbows and hinging forward just a little bit more. So see how much of the backs of your legs you can press down to the ground. Activate and flex the quads, the top part of the thigh. And lengthen up through the crown of your head. Send your shoulders down your back and press your palms into the ground. Set your eyes one spot and focus your breath. Circulate it throughout your entire body now. And slowly start to release. Roll your spine down. Lengthen the arms above the head and pull your navel in towards the spine. And now slowly start to bring the knees in towards the chest. Now we're going to come into final stretching here. So just lengthen the left leg long onto the ground. Straighten the right leg. And just hanging on to whatever's available to you. We're going to point the toe. Now set your left fingertips on the outside of the leg. So you just want to wrap the left fingertips around the outside of the leg. Right arm comes out to the side. And you're just going to very slowly, mindfully guide your leg across your body towards the left. Maintaining both shoulder blades down evenly, chest towards the sky. Now you're pressing down through the left toes and sending your right hip down, away from the body. And then looking over towards the right. Seeing if you can press the right shoulder blade down into the ground. Coming into the final spinal twist. So gently internally massaging your digestive system with your breath. And now slowly release back to center. So you're just going to very gently guide your leg back up to center. And bring your nose as close up towards your knee as you possibly can. And release. Switching sides now. Right leg goes long, left leg comes up, and then you're going to very gently wrap the right fingertips around the opposite side. Left arm comes out. Just very gently guiding your leg across your body. Shoulders remain flat. Pressing down through, lengthening your right leg past the toes as much as you can. And rolling the left hip down away from you to lengthen the spine. Just a few more deep, relaxing breaths on this side. And slowly release, coming back to center now, just guiding the leg back up and then sending it long. Again, arms above the head, separate the feet and lengthen through your core. Now bring your arms along to your sides and we're just going to end it here. So closing your eyes, taking a deep breath. And now letting it go, allowing your breath to return back to normal. Allowing yourself to breathe however it wants to breathe. Allowing every muscle in your body to relax now. Just letting it all go into the ground. Letting go of all cares, all worries, and just listening to the ebb and flow now. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana, please feel free to stay as long as you like. Otherwise, bring the knees up into your chest and just rolling over onto your side into the fetal position, cradling your head with your arm and just staying here for a few moments now. Taking your time as we transition back. Taking the last of the few cleansing breaths. And now slowly starting to press yourself up into that comfortable seated position, facing front or staying down, laying down if you like. Put in sand. And we'll take 3 collective breaths together to end. Inhale, circle, sweep, arms come all the way up. And exhale, centering it right to your solar plexus. 2 more times. Inhale, coming all the way up. And exhaling it right down to the center. Last time. Inhale, coming all the way up and around. And exhaling it here. Thumbs up to your third eye. I thank you so much for joining me here on the beach here in Maui for planks and Pilates. You guys did awesome. I am so proud of you. Aloha, mahalo, and namaste. Hello, everybody.
Asked the question, want to know the process of the inhale and the exhale?
Oh, well, when you're in planks and Pilates, it's really hard 2. Hello, Joy Anthony. It's really difficult to match your breath to your movement, isn't it? So when you're on the inhale or the exhale, it doesn't really matter. I have found, this is tried and true, I have found it doesn't really matter whether you're on the inhale and exhale. It does when you become professional, a pro, but if you are a beginner, the only thing that really matters is if you're mindfully breathing. Mindfully breathing, because you'll find that it's hard to stay on the cues with your instructor when you're trying to do the inhale and the exhale with the instructor. And then you get all caught up in your head and wonder if you're doing it right. So as long as you are mindfully breathing, you're going to be just fine. The inhales and the exhales and the cues, that comes all naturally eventually. So if you just stick with it, you'll be totally fine. I used to get all caught up on the inhales and exhales, and I would get frustrated and just forget the breath altogether. But now I learned the hard way. So learn from my mistakes. Oh.
No, I'm saying make sure to breathe through.
Oh, yes. So we control our energy by closing the mouth and trying to contain the breath in and out through the nose. This is how you optimize your energy. Yes. So you're pulling the pelvic wall up and the navel in. That way your energy is not spewing out all over the place. I know. And you control it coming in to the nose, and then we control it coming out of the nose. And this is to dispel and expel all the lesser qualities that we absorb. Our bodies are like pin cushions, and so we absorb what the world imprints on us throughout the day. And so if you're really battling something like a sickness or something like that, pull the pelvic wall up, navel in, control the breath, and you expel it out. Use your exhale. The inhale gets a lot of attention because we're inhaling more life force, energy, prana, yes. But the exhale is what we use to get rid of what we no longer need. We get rid of and breathe it out. And we actually do it subconsciously and unconsciously because we have no idea what's in there, do we? We just use it. Oh, hello. That was awesome. Federal Way. Say what's up. Woohoo. Oh. I'm so glad that Federal Way could be in the house. Hello, aloha. Love these girls. And what's so awesome is most of them grew up with my husband, and I just discovered them, I don't know, about 10 years ago. And I love him so much. So I'm so glad that they could be here in Maui, vacationing, all girls trip. So much trouble. So maybe we'll go live a little bit later. You never know. Tune in. Oh, here to say hello, everybody. All right, we'll see you later. Thank you so much. If you're just joining me, it's Elaina Maui Yoga Live, and we will see you later. Aloha, mahalo, and namaste. Bye-bye.